so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. YAHANNA, Yahweh Shema Allah Thug, Bashim Yahushua, all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 and called up around, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Junior Hunter. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior Hunter under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021, I.S.U.P.K, 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men at war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Yahweh Shema Allah Bashim Yahushua to the sisters. I'm President Captain TITHES with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come to Houston, Texas, where we going to serve the Lord the way he's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.
towards it.
I should blow the horn about the shot. Oh, why didn't you think yourself? Awawad your bun gad, bun yashala.
Awawad your bun gad, bun yashala.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakathum.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakathum.
La Yasha Allah.
Majum, which means to stand. Wapanyahak Wadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kadash.
Kadash.
Ayah.
Shabka.
Yahweh.
Malakavka.
Taba'at. Ratazayaka. Ayah. I.S.U.P.K. Ba'aratiza. Go up. Ayah. Bashemayim. The thunder now. Lakam. Kav. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kabawati now. Kasalak now. Kabawati now. Wala'at. The iron now. When the side one. A ball. How was shy now. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Waha'ala. Watapara. Aman.
And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We'll say cut the power. Yahweh.
Bashem. Yahweh Shah. Baba Kashah.
The thunder now.
Hakak.
Larpa'ah. Kalmakalab. Wakal Marawa. Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakak. Hamathi. Arakawa. Tama'ala. The Garashun. Bashem. Yahweh Shah.
The water Aman. And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it.
We say bless Israel.
Yahweh.
Bashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Barakla now.
Wayasha'al.
Wahabaya.
Sapari.
Barak.
Rapah.
Magun. Bashem.
Yahweh Shah. The water Aman. And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it.
We'll say Psalms 120.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ahahari. Ma'ayan. Yaba'ah. Aizari. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Shemayim. Wa'aratiza. Ayathan. Lamawat. Regalka. Al-Yanawam. Shamarka. Hanat. La'at. Yanawam. Wala'at. Yashun. Shalomar. Yasha'al. Shamarka. From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth thee,
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel,
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to say Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thashakwat.
Wa-al-Thashakwat.
Al. Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awayabika.
Awayabika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahweh Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Nasha'awa.
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Imaka.
Al-Imaka.
Ya'ariyamwa.
Ya'ariyamwa.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayataya Isaac Tutuwa.
Wayataya Aitasawa.
Al-Tazabawanika.
Al-Tazabawanika.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magawiya.
Magawiya.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'al.
Sham Yasha'al.
Iwad.
Iwad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa Aitazawa.
Nawa Aitazawa.
Lad.
Lad.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Baryat.
Baryat.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahalia.
Ahalia.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashba'alim.
Wayashba'alim.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagarian.
Wahagarian.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak.
Palashat.
Palashat.
I'm Yeshabia.
I'm Yeshabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gam Ashawar.
Gam Ashawar.
Nalawat.
Nalawat.
Imam.
Imam.
Hayawa.
Hayawat.
Zarawat.
Zarawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Salat.
Salat.
Aisha Laham.
Aisha Laham.
Kamajin.
Kamajin.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kayabin.
Kayabin.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Koyashawan.
Koyashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan Da'arwa.
Ba'ayan Da'arwa.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adaman.
La'adaman.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
The Dadwa. Salaki. Nadayabawa.
Nadayabawa.
Ka'irab.
Ka'irab.
Wakaza Za'aba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Salaki. Wakaza Bak.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakaza Zamanai.
Wakaza Zamanai.
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nayarashat.
Nayarashat.
Lanawat.
Lanawat.
Ath. Na'awat.
Na'awat.
Alahayim.
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 Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kagabala.
Kagabala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakwat.
Lapanya Rakat.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Taba'ira Ya'ira.
Taba'ira Ya'ira.
Wakala Habab.
Wakala Habab.
Thalahat.
Thalahat.
Haryam.
Haryam.
Khan.
Khan.
Tharadatma.
Tharadatma.
Basa Irika.
Basa Irika.
Wabasa Wapathka.
Wabasa Wapathka.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Mala'ah.
Mala'ah.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Palawan.
Palawan.
Wayabakwashua.
Wayabakwashua.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Yabashua.
Yabashua.
Wayaba'awa.
Wayaba'awa.
Aja'ai.
Aja'ai.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayada'aiwa.
Wayada'aiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Thab.
Thab.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Labatka.
Labatka.
Al-Yawan.
Al-Yawan.
Al-Ka-Rataza.
Al-Ka-Rataza.
The word Aman.
The word Aman.
And in the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Israelites.
And the Israelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
The Baal and Ammon.
The Baal and Ammon.
And Amalek.
And
the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zahab. Yea, all their princes, as Sabbath, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh, my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high, over all the earth. So be it.
With that, Sar, which means to turn. Yeshabi, which means be seated. What's it? Oh, you come get it. Up here, Yeshabi, which means be seated. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. We had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 27. We're going to read it in the Hebrew first. Of course, you take the first 4. Or why you take the last 3. First Kings chapter 18, verse 17. Wayahaya, Ka Ra'awath, Ka'ab, Ath, Allah, Al Yahweh, Wayamar, Ka'ab, Al-Yawah, Ha'atha, Zahah, Ikar, Yasha'ala, verse 18. Wayamar, La'ah, Ikarathya, Yasha'ala, Kaya, Ama, Atha, Wabayah, Abayah, Ba'ai Zabak, Ba'ai Zabakam, Matazawath, Yahweh, Wathalak, Akaraya, Ha Ba'aliyam, verse 19, Wa'itha, Shalak, Quab Batazaa, Alia, Kal, Yasha'ala, Al, Hara, Ha-Kara, Ramala, Ramal, Wa'a, Nabaya, Ayah, Ha-Ba'al, Raba'ai, Ma'awath, will come, Waka Shemashim, Wanaba Ya'aya, Ha Shara'a, Raba'ai, Ba'awath, Akalia, Shalakna, Ayah Zabal,
Verse 20. YAHANNA. Aka. Abba. Bakal. Banya. Yasha'ala. Wayak. Ba'ataza. Hana. Ba'ay. Hana. Ba'a. Ya'ayam. Al. Hara. Ha. Kara. Ha. Kara. Slakia. Ha. Kara. Ma.
Verse 21. YAHANNA. Allah. Yahweh. Yahweh. Al. Ka. Ain. YAHANNA. I. After Yah. Atham. Pa. Sakai. Al. Shathiyah. Hasa. Afayam. Yahweh. Ha'Allah. Yam. Ha'Allah. Ha'Alahai. Cow. Ka. Yawah. Wa'am. Haba'ab. Lakwa. Haka. Rayam. Salaki. Haka. Rayawah. Wala'ab. Anawah. Ha'ain. Akhbar. Abar. Verse 22. YAHANNA. Ha. Ha. Laya. Ha. Al Yahweh. Al. Ha'ain. Anya. Nawatha. To Yah. Never up. La Yah. Hawa. La Yahaya. La Yahweh. Naba. To Yah. One of a Yah. A Yah. Haba'ab. Haraba'ai. Salaki. Araba'ai. Ma'awah. Wakam. Shayam. Ayash. Verse 23. Why your son were? The knowledge. Shanayim. Harayim. Why you bakal? Laham. Kapar. Ha'a. Card. Ha'akad. Why in the stuff? What? Wayashim what? Al. Tazayim. Wa'ash. La'ah. Yashemwa. YAHANNA. I.S.U.P.K. Wanaf Thaya Al Ha'at Tazayim Wa'ash La'a Ashyam.
Now we're going to read it in the English. We had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 17.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 17 in the English. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord, and thou hast followed Balaam, Salakia, Baalem. Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I only, remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Verse 23, let them therefore give us 2 bullets, and let them choose 1 bullet for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullet, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under.
So what's happening here? King Ahab has came to Elijah. He's asking, pretty much, are you going to come up against me? Like, are you the reason why there's trouble in Israel? And this prophet is telling him, you're the reason why there's trouble in Israel, because you have followed after other gods, the gods of your wife, Jezebel, who's a heathen. And so right now, what's going on is our people followed King Ahab in our ignorance. You understand? Many people just read how many prophets, you know what I'm saying, Ahab had. How many of our people went and followed after these false gods? And that should be an indicator to our people. Numbers means absolutely nothing when it comes to the truth.
Right.
You can have all the members in the world, and you can still be all going to the path of destruction. You understand? And that's the Christian church. That's your favorite Israelite group. You understand? They love it because it makes them feel comfortable that it's a lot of people there. When that's just not ever how the Lord operated. You understand? Elijah just said, it's even I, only I. Go ahead, sis.
Baal, what would that be, the modern day religion?
Baal would be, matter of fact, let me find out for sure. Because I don't want to say something that I think. Let me find out for sure. That's a good question, what Baal would be. But in general, Baal would be, in general, not specifically on Baal, but it would be just for us following after other gods in particular, in this instance, has always upset the Most High. I'm going to find out for the sister what Baal, the equivalent today, would be. You understand? But this is what Elijah's doing right now. He's going to prepare an offering, and he's going to show who the Lord sides with. You take all your priests, and then I'll take mine, and then we'll take these bullocks and these 2 cows, these bulls, and then we'll sacrifice them to our gods and see whose God is stronger, which God wins. Go ahead.
Slight, sir, if I could. It was all these false prophets against him. Yeah, just by himself. He was with him and the Most High, and then the Most High was with him.
And that's what you see it all throughout the UPK. That's that right there. That's the Kentucky 8. If you see a video on YouTube, it's one of them old videos where it was Captain Tahoe War, Captain Tazariak, and I forgot the other brother, Salakia, I forgot the other brother's name. And it was just them 3 in New York, in Manhattan. And they got accosted by the group formerly known as GMS. If you go watch the video, they had a whole squad. It was about 15 to 20 of them that ran up on 3 of the men, the Lord's men. You understand? And they stood their ground. And that mob of false prophets had to back down and flee. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. This happens all the time with the UPK, where we're always outnumbered. and we always prevail.
Right.
You understand? You're gonna see that tonight with Commanding General YAHANNA. The Proud Boys got membership chapters all across the nation.
Right.
And white supremacists and homosexuals are big in numbers, and you're gonna find out tonight that means absolutely nothing to the Lord. You understand? With that, I imagine which means to stand. God, present yourself.
Kagamak, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Kagamak, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatham. Up here, Yeshabi, which means be seated. We're going to pick up where we left off. We had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 23.
Verse 24.
24. Okay, that's a lot.
The numbers are clear.
Just 24. You go ahead, Rob.
In the Hebrew, Rakawa Atham, but Basham, Allah Yakam, Wa'anaya, Akara Ra'ah, Basham, Yahweh, Ha'ala Hayam. Oh, Slaki. Yahweh, Yahaya, Allah Hayam, Ashar, Ya'ina, Ba'ash, Hawa'ah, Ha'ala Hayam, Waya'ain, Kal, Ha'ain, Waya'amar, Rawa, Tawa, Hadabar, verse 25, Waya'amar, Ala Yahweh, Lanaba ya Ayo, Haba'al, Bakarawa, Lakam, Hapa, Ha'akad, Wa'amal, Wa'ashawa, Ra'asha Naha, Kaya, Atham, Hara Bayam, Waka Ra'awa, Basham, Allah Yakam, Wa'ash, La'ah, Dashaya Mawa, verse 26, Waya Kwakawa, Hapar, Ashar, Nathan, Laham, Waya Ashawa, Waya Kara Awa, Asham, Saki, Basham, Haba'al, Maha Bakar, Wa'ai, Hataza Habrayam, Lahamar, Haba'al, Aina Nawa, Wahayan, Kwawala, Kowal, Wa'ayan, Anaya, Wayapasakawa, Al, Hamazabat, Ashar, Aisha, verse 27, Wayahaya, Bataza Habayam, Wayahata, Baham, Allah Yahweh, Waya Amar, Kwara Awa, Bakwa Wall, Gadawal, Kaya, Allah Hayam, Hawa'a, Kaya, Shayak, Wakaya, Shayag, Lawa, Wakaya, Darak, Lawa, Awala, sorry, Walaya, Yashan, Hawa'a, Wayaka Rataza, verse 28, Wayakara Awa, Bakra Wall, Gada Wall, Wayatha Gadadawa, Wamashapatam, Bakwara Waf, Wabara Makayam, I.S.U.P.K, Dama, Aliyaham, verse 29. YAHANNA, Ka'aibar, Hatazaharayam, Wayathana Bawa, La'ila Wa, Hamanakar, Wahayan, Kawal, Wahayan, Anaya, Wa'anaya, Koshah, verse 30. Waya Amar, Alaya Howard, Lakal, Ha'ain, Gashawa, Alaya, Waya Gashawa, Kal, Ha'ain, Alayawa, Waya Rapal, Pa'ar, Mazabak, Yahweh, Hahawas, verse 31.
Now we're going to read in English. We have 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 24.
In the English. And he called ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord. And the God that answered by fire, let him be God. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. Verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call it on the name of your gods, but put no fire under it. Verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. Verse 27. And
what you're reading about right here is the equivalent of what we see in the Christian church. When we call Jesus, Jesus. You understand? A lot of us from church, we were told, all you gotta do is call in the name of Jesus. Right. He's gonna be here, he's gonna save you, and he's gonna rescue you. All the while, children are being molested in them churches where they call on Jesus. All the while, women are depressed and in a terrible mental state and spiritual state in them churches while they calling on something that's not real. You understand? Like our people follow these false gods, and our lives bear witness they have no power. Just look at, you want to know if the church works, if it has power, these gods we call on work. Look at the black community. The gods that we call on are powerless, man. Right. They're nothing. Right. And we're going to find out right here, this prophet, he's going to prove that to these people right here, because we've always been a stiff-necked people. Right. We always wanted to serve gods that seem appealing. It's more fulfilling to your lust to be superstitious, like, all I gotta do is pour salt on my doorway. Like, it's easy for you to do those type of things and throw some salt over my shoulder and sprinkle salt on my doorway and never walk underneath ladders. That's much easier to put down the cigarettes and the weed. In the sense, so our people always lean towards that type of foolishness. It just seems entertaining. You know, so it's more entertaining to go every day and look at some zodiac. Okay, so today I gotta watch out for snakes. You know what I'm saying? It's a snake, somebody in my life that I need to get rid of because my horoscope said that. It's much fulfilling for us to do that than to love your brother and your sister, as the Bible says.
Right. Verse 27. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or he is peradventure he sleepeth and must be awake. Verse 28. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after the manner with knives and lances, till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. Verse 30. And Elijah said unto all the people, come nearer to me. And all the people came near to him. And he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down.
So right here, Elijah is mocking them now because they doing all this shucking and jiving and dancing. Same way in the church, running around that church, all that shouting and gyrating. And if you see it in the truth, you laugh at them in the same way we mock them. Like, look at that garbage. Look what you doing. Yeah, okay, so the Lord gonna save you and you doing all that. Elijah is doing what we do. You understand? Laughing at your foolishness for serving other gods. You understand? And you gonna find you see what great lengths these people went to prove that their God is real. They started cutting themselves. You understand? Like that's what happens when you serve other gods. You got to take extreme measures to feel like it's real when it's not real. It won't ever be real. Right. You understand? It's as simple as doing what God says. With that, I say Amaju, which means to stand. Barak, present yourself. God, you can take over for Barak and get up here by yourself.
On the phone? Nah, I got the camera. Barak ban Yahweh ban Yashala.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yashala.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabarakatham.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabarakatham. Go ahead. Quickly. Go. Shop.
The sister had to believe it right here.
No sweat. No sweat. Up in Yeshabi, which means be seated. No sweat. Yeah. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 31. We're going to read it in Hebrew first.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 31. YAHANNA, Allah Yahweh, Shatayam, I.S.U.P.K, Abanyam, Kwama Sapal, Shabbatya, Banaya, Ya'ikab, Ashur, Hayah, Debar, Yahweh, Allah Yahweh, La'amar, Yasha Allah, Yahaya, Shamak, verse 32, Waya Banah, Ha'ar Banyam, Mazabak, Basham, Yahweh, Waya Aish, Tha'ai La, Kabayath, Sa'athium, Zerai, Sabayah, Lamar Zabak, verse 33, Waya Arak, Ha'ai Tazayam, Waya Banath, Hapal, Waya Shun, Ha'ai Tazayam, verse 34, Waya Amar, Mala'awa, Arabai, Karayam, Mayam, Waya Taza Kawa, Ha'ai La, Wa'al, Ha'ai Tazayam, Waya Amar, Shanawa, Wayash Shanawa, Waya Amar, Shalashak, Waya Shalashawa, verse 35, Waya Lakwa, Hamayam, Sabayah, Lama Zabak, Wagam, Katha, I love, Mala'ah, Mayam, verse 36, Wayahaya, Ba'ai, Lawah, Hama Naka, Wayagash, Allah Yahweh, Hana Baya'ah, Waya Amar, Yahweh, Alahaya, Abu Raham, Yatazak Kaka, Waya Sha'ala, Hayawam, Kaya, Atha, Alahaya, Baya Sha'ala, Wa'anya, Ibadak,
In the English, we had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 31.
God. Verse 31. And Elijah took 12 stones of the Lord came saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. Verse 33. And he put the wood in order and cut the bullock in pieces and laid him on the wood and said, fill 4 barrels with water and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. Verse 34. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. Verse 35. And the water ran around about the altar. And he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came in and said, God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art God of Israel, and thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Verse 37. Hear, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned the heart back again.
Now let me ask you, why do you think it is that Elijah doused the altar in water twice? Anybody know? 3 times a lot of the water. You gotta take a guess why Elijah would have to do this. The question.
So that it can be known it was the Most High that set the fire to something that we obviously can't understand that it can be set.
That's exactly why. And this show you how the Lord is. It's a scripture in the Bible that says, for this cause have I raised up Pharaoh. The Lord is the type of person where he likes to do things where there's no question that it was him that did it. You understand? Like when America falls, we are going to know that it is the Lord that did it because he has allowed America and the white man to grow so great to the point where we know in spirit, nobody can beat this place. Like without the Lord, the white man wins and he will continue to win all throughout eternity. He has positioned himself through the help of the Lord to be the world superpower. The same way Egypt and Greece and Rome did. And every last one of those empires failed. It fell in a way where you have to say the Lord did that, man.
Right.
This is what Elijah's proving right here. It's like he's about to let them know, like, not only is my God real, I'm about to SHIT on all y'all gods, man. I'm going to show you how silly your God is. He had to douse the altar 3 times with water. So when he proves, when the Lord sets this altar on fire, you know there's no possible way I'm pulling tricks or I'm pulling your leg or some type of shystiness that is going on. Look, I'm showing. I filled the trench with water. You built the entire trench around the altar. This is a small little trench filled with water. We're going to watch what happens. How the Lord is going to prove he's the one true living God of Israel. With that, I say, I'm not doing, Salah, go ahead, sis. Salah.
I just had a question. When they, in verse 20, when they're talking about cutting themselves and
Concept.
blood gushed out, did they kill themselves or are they just all kind of wounded?
So what they're doing is, and a lot of religions do this today. The Catholic Church, they have this, what they call it not prostrate, self-mutilation. It's another word too, starts with a P. Process something. But what they do is they take whips and they hit themselves on the back. A lot of religions, a lot of Arab religions, they go in that altar and they'll smack themselves. And a lot of religions do that. And this lets you know this is the customs of the heathen that we're doing right here. So what they're doing is as they're praying to their God and hoping for a sign that their God will light this fire, they think the more they show their devotion to this God, it'll work. And the way they show devotion to their God is to cut themselves. Maybe if we harm ourselves, this God will look upon us. which shows you that God is silly. Like the Lord is not like that. The Lord is not a bully. The Lord loves his children. Like imagine your child has to beat himself in order for you to feed them and show them love. That's a terrible parent. You understand? Like you don't deserve children. You understand? A good parent, all you have to do is just ask. Right. The Lord says in the Bible, if you ask, I'll give it to you. But you have to follow my rules. That's the Lord. These other guys, you got to cut yourself. You gotta circumcise your women. You got to take out some happy. You do all types of foolishness in order for you. You don't know a couple guys to try that. They're not real. That's the church. They do this in the church. You don't believe in God, but in the old days, in the black church, they still put thumbtacks in shoes. Listen to this sermon, and they feel guilty. Step on the thumbtack. Cause this is real in the black church. We got it right now, of course. Go ahead, boys.
We also took this from snakes.
It's a lot of
snakes that we have ourselves bitten by these snakes, and flint us.
He's got people die. You can look this up. This happened recently in the South, in a white church, where the pastor walked around with a snake and he preaching, and finally the Lord put that devil to death. Because what you believe is garbage. Your God is a lie, and you're just stupid. Understand? With that, I imagine our wife to present yourself. It's like little work right here.
Our wife, your bun gag, bun y'all SHALAM.
Our wife, your bun gag, bun y'all SHALAM.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Rock Thumb.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Rock Thumb. Which means be seated. We're going to pick up where we left off. We had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 38. I'm going to read this one, Baba Michelle. Shalaki. 18 and 38. The water. Wathapal. Ash, Yahweh, Wata Akar, Ha'elah, Wa'ath, Ha'itazayam, Wa'ath, Ha'abanayim, Wa'ath, Ha'apal, Wa'ath, Hamayam, Ashar, Batha'ila, Lakaka. Verse 39, Waya Ra'ah, Ka, Ha'ayin, Waya Palawa, Panayaham, Waya Amarwa, Yahweh, Hawa'ah, Ha'alahayim, Yahweh, Hawa'ah, Ha'alahayim, verse 40, Waya Amar, Alahayim, Alahayawa, Laham, Thapashwa, Nabo Ya'awa, Nabo Ya'aya, Haba'al, Ayash, Yamalat, Maham, Waya Tapashwam, Waya Warat, Waya Waradam, Allah Yahayawa, Lakar, Koyashwan, Waya Kotam, Sham, verse 41, Waya Amal, Allah Yahweh, La Akaba, Ila Akar, Washika, Kaya, Kwawal, Hamawan, Hagasham, verse 42, Waya Allah, Akaba, La Akar, Walash Thawath, Wa'a La Yahayo, Wa'a La Yahawah, Ila, Al, Ra'ash, Hakaramah, Waya Gahar, Arataza, Wayasham, Panyawa, Bayan, Barakwa. Verse 43. Waya Amar, Nairawa, Ila, Na'a, Habat, Darak, Yum, Waya Waya Bat, Waya Amar, Ayan, Ma'awama, Waya Amar, Shabbat, Pa'anyan, verse 44, Wayahaya, Bashabayat, Waya Amar, Hana, Kwatana, Kaka, Kaka, Ayash, Ila, Mayam, Waya Amar, Ila, Amar, Ka'aba, Asar, Wawada, Wala'a, Ya'ita Zaraka, Hagasham, verse 45. I'm going to read it in the English. We have 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 38.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice. And consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust and licked up the water that was in the trench.
This is how you know the Lord is real. Elijah set the stage as the prophet of the Lord, and the Lord did what he always do, and he come through. The scripture says, my word does not come back returning void. And this is what happened. All that water, the Lord consumed it with fire. Keep reading.
And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and they said, the Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God. And Elijah said unto them, take the prophets and Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them. And they took them. And Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon and slew them there. And Elijah said unto Ahab, get thee up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain. So Ahab went up to eat and to drink. And Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees and said to his servant, go up now, look toward the sea. And he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And he said, go again 7 times. Verse 44. And it came to pass at the 7th time that he said, behold, there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, go up, say unto Ahab, prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not.
So what's going on right here is, of course, we know there was a major drought in the earth. It's like in the land. And right here, what had to happen for the Lord to stop this drought? If you want to correlate what just happened. Go ahead. What happened? What just happened that the Lord made it to rain to end the drought? What did we just read? The people. Go ahead, Bakwash.
I was about to say, the people turned back to the Most High and cast aside the false prophets.
That's it. It's the remedy every single time. If we want to change our conditions, we want to fix our people. Hell, we want to fight. If you don't give a damn about your people, you just want to fight your own demons first. You have to turn back to the Lord.
Right.
That is the first step. You have to turn back to what this Bible says. You understand? And that is what we always should understand. That is the solution. Nobody wants to hear that because it seems just too simple. The solution got to be us going to get guns. We got to buy guns from the Chinese man. We got to go and do all these things. We got to sit in all these think tanks and discussions. And we got to get every black person in Congress. And everybody got the solution. But the answer is right here. We got to turn back to our God. And that's what happened. It's sad that it took them a sign to see this for us to serve the Lord. But that's our people, man. You understand? That's why the UPK always broadcasts the things that we do in the school. Because our people are that type of people. Well, we got to see it. You know, people always wonder, why we go in the streets and kiss? Why would you have white people kiss your boots? Do you understand what you're witnessing right now? Right. You're witnessing a people that run the earth, kissing the boots of the people that serve the entire earth. Right. That can't happen without the power of the Lord, man. We don't pay them people. Right. We don't tell you, know what I'm saying? We don't arrange a meeting before they get out there. That is the Lord's Spirit showing you, because you're stupid, that I'm real and these men serve me, and you should come and join these men. Our people got to see drastic things like that for them to believe. So don't question the boot kiss. Don't question why we broadcast our food drives and clothing programs, because you need to see it. Clearly, you need a sign because you're stupid. You understand? If we didn't do these things, you wouldn't believe. You understand? You would go and serve whatever feeds your lust. You understand? With that, good work too. I said, a lot of people understand. Good God, present yourself.
Kagar Mach, Banya Howda, Banya Shala.
Kagar Mach, Banya Howda, Banya Shala.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham. I'll hear you Shabbat, which means to be seated. We at 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 45. We're going to read it in the Hebrew first. You got it, Kagar?
Come. In the Hebrew, Wayahaya, I, Kaha, Wa'ai, Kaha, Wahashamayam, Hataka, the Rawa, Ibadium, Wara, Wak, Wayahaya, Gasham, Gadawal, Wayaraka, Aka'a, Wayalak, Yazara, Aliyah, verse 46, Wayar, Yahweh, Hayatah, Al, Aliyah, Hawa, Wayashanas, Mata Yahweh, Waya Rataza, Lapanaya, Aka'a, I, Ba'aka, Yazara Aliyah, 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 1. Waya God, Aka'a, La'aza, La'a Yazabal, Cow, Ashar, Aisha, Ala Yahweh, Wa'af, Cow, Ashar, Harak, Cow, Hanabaya, Ayam, Bakara, verse 2. Wata Shalak, Aya Zabal, Mala'ak, Al, Ala Yahweh, La'amar, Kaha, Ya'aisha Wan, Ala Hayam, Wakaha, Waya Sapawan, Kaya, Ka'ai, Makar, Ashayam, Napashak, Kanapash, Akkad, Maham, verse 3, Waya Ra'ah, Waya Kam, Waya Lak, Al, Napashawa, Waya Ba'ara, Shabai, Ashar, Laya Wada, Wayanak, Na'ai Rawa, Sham, verse 4. Wahawa'a, Halak, Bamada Bar, Darak, Yawam, Wayaba, Wayashab, Taka, Ratham, Aka, Wayasha'ala, Napashawa, Lamawaf, Waya Amar, Ra, Aitha, Yahweh, it's like it, Kaka, Napashaya, Kaya, Al, Sawab, oh, so like Tuwa, Anakaya, Ma'abathalia, verse 5. Waya Shaka, Waya Yashan, the Kaf, Ratham, Akkad, Yahanna, Zahat, Mala'ak, Nagai, Bawa, Waya Amar, Lawa, Kawam, Akawal,
Now in the English, we had 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 45.
In English. And it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain, and Ahab rode and went to Jezreel, verse 46. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he girded up the loins and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. Chapter 19, verse 1. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. Verse 5. And as he lay and slept under the juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, arise and eat.
So what's happening here is Ahab, King Ahab just went and told his rib, his heathen, disgusting rib, what happened. The power of the Lord, what he just witnessed. And of course, Jezebel hears this, understand, and she's highly upset. So what she did was she sent a messenger to the prophet Elijah and said, you know about all the prophets of your people I killed, right? Yeah. That's what she said. That's on God. By tomorrow morning, you're going to be with your dead homies. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to be. In the grave. Dead like them. That's the spirit of these stinking heathens, man. They hate our people. And if you with a heathen, if you with a person that's not of your race, they're only with you because you are a fetish to them. Once that fetish and fantasy runs out or you don't supply it, they on to the next one. You understand? They don't love you. And they hate your people. They hate you. You understand? This is what's happening with Jezebel. She hated the prophets of the Lord. She hated Israelites. And this right now, Elijah had to flee. Now I want to say something on the sidebar too. Who was Elijah reincarnated as? Well, who later was the reincarnation of Elijah according to the scriptures? Anybody know? It's in the scriptures.
Was it John the Baptist?
John the Baptist. Get a sister hand. Now, with that being said, what did Christ say about John the Baptist? Because
there is no greater prophet than John the Baptist, but he shall be called the least in the kingdom.
There you go. What we reading about right here is the great works Elijah did. And then later on, we know him in his next life, or the life sometime after, as John the Baptist. And the Christ said that John the Baptist will be the least in the kingdom of heaven. It should show you how the Lord operates. It doesn't matter what all you do now. It doesn't matter what you do and you think, oh, I put in this much work. I don't have to keep doing this and I should be good. And I should. The Lord looks at everything you do. Every decision you make matters. It counts. You understand? John the Baptist did these things in his previous life and in that life as John the Baptist. And the Lord said, you know what? Because you doubted Christ being the king, you'll just be the least in the kingdom. Don't take this being in here lightly, man. Seriously. Don't take this lightly because the Lord will just put you in your place. I mean, it's a good thing because we all deserve death. So, I mean, really, it's showing mercy. But don't take for granted that you're able to be in here and you know the truth because the Lord can easily just, okay, no sweat. No sweat. I know you was a great person in your previous life and you did my will, but you effed up this time. You understand? I didn't like what you did. So now you'll just pay for it. Brothers, sisters, be real mindful of your decisions you make. I say that to say that because all it takes is one decision. It literally take one decision. And I love Elijah. You understand? I like reading about Elijah because I always, just for some reason, just hearing about it, the story resonates with me. And then I had to remind myself, well, damn, this is John the Baptist. And John the Baptist is going to be the least in the kingdom. You understand? It's like, it sits different when you put that into perspective. Was that the end of it? Who was we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah, Bible show.
Verse 5. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree.
Yeah, that's the end. With that, I say Imagine, which means to stand. On the rock, present yourself.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Barak ban Yahweh ban Yasha'Allah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatham.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. Up here, Yeshabim, which means to be seated. We have 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 6. We're going to read it in Hebrew first.
Verse 6. YAHANNA, YAHANNA, Mara Ash Thayawa, Agad, Ratazar Payam, Watazar Pakath, Mayam, Waya Akal, Waya Shah, Waya Shah, Waya Shakar, verse 7, Waya Shah, Malak, Malak, Yahweh, Shanayath, Waya God, Bawa, Waya Amal, Kawan, Akal, Kaya, Rab, or Rabah, Mamak, Hadarak, verse 8, Waya Kam, Waya Akal, Waya Shatha, Waya Lak, Bakaka, Ha'aka Yala, Ha'ya'a, Araba'ayam, Yawan, Wa'abai Yam, Layala, I, Ha, or Hara, Ha'a, Lahayam, Hara, verse 9, Waya Ba'a, Sham, Tama, Ira, Wayalam, Sham, Wahana, the ball, Yahweh, Allah Salafi, Allah Yahweh, Waya Amar, Lawa, Maha, Laka, Paha, Allah Yahweh, verse 10, Waya Amar, Kana'athia, La Yahweh, Allah Hayah, Tazaba'awath, Tazaba'awath, Kaya, Zabawa, Barayathak, Banaya, Yasha'ala, Mazabak, Kathath, Yak, Harasawa, Wa'a, Nabayai, Yak, Haragawa, Bakara, Wa'a, Wathal, Anaya, Labadaya, Waya, Bakashwa, Napashia, Lakaka, verse 11, Waya Amal, Taza'a, Wa'ai, Madak, Bahal, Lapanya, Yahweh, Wahana, Yahweh, Iraq, Ibal, Wawak, Pada, Salak, Gada, Wala, Wakazak, Maparak, Harayam, Wama Shabar, Ayam, Lapanya, Yahweh, La'ar, Barawak, Yahweh, Wa'akar, Hawawak, Ra'ish, La'ar, Bara'ish, Yahweh, verse 12, Wa'akar, Hawa'ish, Ash, La'ar, Ba'ash, Yahweh, Wa'akar, Ha'ash, Kawal, Damama, Daka, verse 13.
What's our question? Now in the English, we have 1 Kings chapter 8, 19, verse 6. It's a lot.
Verse 6. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. Verse 8. And he arose, and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Verse 9. And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said unto him, What doest thou here, Elijah? Verse 10. And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I, only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Verse 11. And he said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice.
So what's going on right here is because Elijah found out that this whore Jezebel wants to kill him because he's a prophet of God, he fled. You know what I'm saying? Once he fled, of course, when you know, you got to understand this, the Bible is real life. Once you understand this, you're talking about real black people, actual history, you can it puts the emotion back to it. If you find out somebody's trying to kill you, it's going to depress you, man. It's just like, brothers, just imagine if right now the U.S. government puts a warrant on your head. Enemy of the State was a perfect movie with Will Smith where he's on the run. Right. It's depressing to know that you are literally fighting for your life, running for your life. So this brother, he got depressed and he didn't want to, run anymore. The angel told him, get up and eat. You got work to do. This is what's happening. So now he's waiting for the Lord to speak to him. Go ahead, sis.
So, okay, I was just wondering, what was it that Elijah did that, was, you were talking before, like that was bad? I couldn't recall it. I didn't know if it was when he fled, when Jezebel said he was going to kill him.
You talking about why she wants to kill him?
Yeah, no, like you were saying, like, he was going to be the least.
Oh, okay, Thawada, yeah, as John the Baptist. What he did, when Elijah was reincarnated as John the Baptist. I don't know if it was directly after him being Elijah or, in between, he was somebody else in between. But we do know John the Baptist was Elijah reincarnated. John the Baptist, he doubted what Christ said when Christ said, take of me and eat. You understand? He didn't understand what Christ was saying. Like, this cat talking about eat me, you know what I'm saying? Drinking my blood and eat my flesh. And so John the Baptist, and from prison, from jail, sent his people, his followers, to ask Christ, are you the one that the Bible speaks of? Now keep in mind, John the Baptist is the cousin of Christ. John the Baptist has seen all the miracles Christ has done. John the Baptist baptized Christ. And after all that, he still had the nerve to doubt if this was the messenger the Lord sent, the king the Lord sent. Because of that, Christ hearing this, he said, so you got to just think of it, because I relate everything to the UPK, I look at it as if these fake Israelite groups, it's like, nigga, the Lord is with this school. You know what the Lord is with Commander General YAHANNA. It's things that you cats left, Y'all got to see that we didn't get to see. I hear about the stories from some of the generals and just how some of the things happened. It was like, yo, the Lord is with Commander General YAHANNA, man. And then for you to now turn around and ask Commander General YAHANNA, so you told your people to take the vaccine? You know, was the Lord with that? No sweat. You understand? So you clearly you doubt that the Lord is with me. Because you doubt the Lord with me, that's what the Lord punishment was. The Lord's, he said, you'll be the least. You are the greatest prophet out of all the prophets. And you'll be the least in the kingdom, which sets an example. That's how the Lord does. He makes an example out of people. Like, I don't give a damn how great of a prophet you are and what you did in this life and the life before. The moment you decide you want to turn be an enemy against me, I'll be an enemy against you. And he made him the least in the kingdom. We're gonna read about all the great works that Elijah did. And then John the Baptist did great works. He had a great following. And the Lord still put him as the least. So like, to answer your question, sis. Go ahead.
Sorry, if I could, even from the womb, he was like an Alawapanya.
Listen,
to that attention.
If you read about it, John the Baptist's mother, Elizabeth, when she met her cousin Mary, because they both were pregnant at the same time. Elizabeth and Mary were both pregnant at the same time. Mary was pregnant with Christ. Elizabeth was pregnant with John the Baptist. When they went and to meet each other, Elizabeth's belly jumped in the womb from the Holy Spirit. You understand? Even John the Baptist in the womb knew, like you said, Allah Akbar, general on deck. This man outranks me. In the womb, he known that. So to get older and watch all these things, he's witnessed these miracles that Christ did, and then you turn around and say, I don't know if this is one. I don't know. Because what he said didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand what he was saying. So the Lord told him, well, you just be the least in the kingdom. And that's what John the Baptist did, what made him pay for him saying that, him doubting. If that answers your question, so it's a lot. Where we at? That was it? You read all 7? You going to 12? Yeah, okay, so that's my bad. Up here, imagine which means to stand. I will watch you present yourself.
I will watch you Bungad Bunya Shalom.
I will watch you Bungad Bunya Shalom.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham. Up here, Yeshabim, which means be seated. We have 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 13. I'll read this. 19 and 13. YAHANNA, Kashema, Ila Yahweh, Wala Yata, Salaki, Wayala, Panayawa, Salaka, Panyawa, Ba'ad Darathwa, Wayataza, Wayataza'a, Waya Imad, Pathak, Haima Ra'a, YAHANNA, Ala Al-Yawa, Kwawal, Waya Amal, Maha, Laka, Paha, Ila Yahweh, verse 14, Waya Amal, Kwana'a, Kwana'athia, La Yahweh, Alahaya, Tazaba Awath, Kuya, Izabia, it's like Izabawa, Borayathak, Banya, Yasha'ala, Af, Mazabak Thayaka, Harasawa, Wa'af, Naba Ya'ayaka, Haragawa, Bakara, Wa'a Wathal, Anaya, Labadia, Waya Bakwashwa, Af, Napashia, Laquaktha, verse 15, Waya Amal, Yahweh, Al-Yawa, Laka, Shawal, La Daraka, Madabar, Madabara, Damashak, Waba'ath, Wamash Shikath, Af, Kaza'al, Lamalak, Al, Aram, verse 16. Wa'af, Yahawa'ah, Ban, Namashia, Thamashak, Lamalak, Al, Yasha'ala, Wa'af, Ila Yashai, Ban Mapash, it's like Mapat, it's like Shapat, Ma'abal, Ma'kwala, Thamashak, Lana Baya'a, Thakathika, verse 17, Wahaya, Hanamalat, Makara, Kaza'al, Yamyatha, Yahawa'ah, Waha Namalat, Makara, Yahawa'ah, Yamyatha, Ali Yashai, verse 18, Wahasha Arathia, Bayasha Allah, Shaba'aith, Ala Payam, Ka, Habarathim, Ashar, La'a, Karaiwa, Laba'al, Wakab, Hapa, Ashar, La'a, Nashak, Lawa, verse 19, Wayalak, Masham, Wayamataza'a, Ath, Ila Yashai, Ban Shapat, Wahawa'ah, Sharash, Shanayim, Ishar, Tazamadayim, Lapanyoa, Wahawa'ah, Bashanayim, Hawa Ishar, Waya Ibar, Allah Yahweh, Allah Al-Yawa, Waya Shalak, Adarathwa, Al-Yawa, verse 20. Osai Christ. And then we're going to read in the English. We had 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 13.
1 Kings chapter 19, verse 13. And behold, there came a prophet unto Ahab, king of Israel, saying, Thus saith the Lord, hast thou seen all this great multitude? Behold, I will deliver it unto thy hand this day, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. And Ahab said, By whom? And
19 and 13? Yeah. I think he was reading 20. We should be, and it was so.
Oh, so.
No sweat, no sweat.
And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What dost thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And the Lord said unto him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abel Mahola, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. So he departed thence, and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12th, and Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him.
So what we read about right here is, while Elijah thinking it's just him by himself,
Come to find out, the Lord said, listen, man, stop all that sappiness. Stand up and be a soldier. I got 7,000 men, man. You thinking they outnumber us so they can defeat you. They'll never destroy the prophets of the Lord. It's 7,000 men that I have reserved to myself that have not taken a knee and bowed to these false gods. And what you're reading about is literally the I.S.U.P.K. You're literally reading about that. Commander General YAHANNA at one point was by himself. When these cats left the school, they left it to Commander General YAHANNA to be in charge. They didn't give a damn about that burden being on him by himself. Can you imagine that burden of understanding? At one point, you see all this, and it's everybody, and then in the blink of an eye, you are left to be in charge. Can you imagine the struggle Commander General YAHANNA had? And then here comes General Muhammad. You understand? Then General Mayat. And then General Hazayan. And then General Shawaman, General Katham, and General Kabal, and then the captains. And now the Lord has reserved to himself, you understand, brothers who will never serve other gods, who will die before that happens. And that's what you witness every day. We go out every weekend when we go out of camp. Brothers professing their loyalty to the God of the Bible. Brothers letting the devil know to his face, you are the devil, and will die fighting for our God, believing in our God, serving our God, man. And that is what we're reading about right here. There's all the prophets of old have always been the prophets now. And what you see, these brothers in here, these sisters in here, we have always been these people. The ones who refuse to go with the world. And that's why it's so important to understand you didn't choose to be in here. The Lord literally chose you. You understand? You were chosen from before time. You understand? So everything that you suffered in this life was meant to bring you right to this point right here. Literally. And a lot of you already know that. You look at how your life played out and how it led you literally to right here. It's like, damn, it's almost like somebody planned this. You know, it's almost like there's somebody up there leading me here. There is, because you were here before. And that's what we are doing in the UPK, honoring our age-old traditions and customs to serve our God. Right. With that, we're going to pick up where we left off next week. With that, up here only, I say Amajim, which means a stand. And watch, we can blow the horn, but show kind of on. No sweat, no sweat.
Lord YAHANNA. Then I say Amajim, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakodam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kadash,
Kadash,
Hayat, Shabkat, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratzayka, Hayat, I.S.U.P.K, Ratiza, Kawak, Hayat, Bashemayim, Thundernow, Lakam, Yawam, Wasalakinaw, Kabawatinaw, Pasalakinaw, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayinaw, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayinaw, Mayan, Right, Kayat, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapari, Aman.
And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debt. As we forgive our debt. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We'll say I come to power, Yahweh,
By Hashem,
Yahweh, Thundernow, Hakak, Larpa'ah, Kamakalab, Wakamadawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwi, Hamafi, Hakak, Al-Kawa, Atama Allah, Garishan,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua, Wadaman.
the Wadaman. And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
I'm going to say, bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Barakanawa.
Barakanawa.
Wayashala.
Wayashala.
Wahabayah.
Wahabayah.
Sapariyam.
Sapariyam.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Magun. Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The Wadaman.
The Wadaman. And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect. our loved ones.
Our loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Let's see, say Psalms 121. Asha'a.
Asha'a.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahoharim.
Ahoharim.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Shemayan. Wa'arataza.
Wa'arataza.
Ayathan.
Na'amawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Alyanawam.
Alyanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hanak.
Hanak.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Sha'amar.
Sha'amar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Aliyah.
Aliyah.
Yamyaka.
Yamyaka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'a.
La'a.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Walayala.
Walayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Makawrak.
Makawrak.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Athnapashka.
Athnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Taza'atka.
Taza'atka.
Wabu'atka.
Wabu'atka.
Ma'aika.
Ma'ayan.
Wa'ayawalam.
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 And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dashakwat.
Al-Dashakwat.
Al. Kayahanna.
Kayahanna.
Awayabyaka.
Awayabyaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Nasha'awa.
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Amaka.
Al-Amaka.
Ya'arayamba.
Ya'arayamba.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayatha Ya'isatazwa.
Wayatha Ya'isatazwa.
Altazapawanyaka.
Altazapawanyaka.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magawa.
Magawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Iwad.
Iwad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Noah Itazawa.
Noah Itazawa.
La.
La.
Yakadwa.
Lakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Baryath.
Baryath.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahaya.
Ahaya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayamasha'ayim.
Wayashma'alim.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagarian.
Wahagarian.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak.
Halashah.
Halashah.
Am Yashabi.
Am Yashabi.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gam Ashawar.
Gam Ashawar.
Nalawat.
Nalawat.
Aimam.
Aimam.
Hayawat.
Hayawat.
Zarawat.
Zarawat.
Labani Lawat.
Labani Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha Laham.
Aisha Laham.
Kamajin.
Kamajin.
Kasasa Yorah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kayabian.
Kayabian.
Banakar.
Banakar.
Koyashuan.
Koyashua.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan da Arwa.
Ba'ayan da Arwa.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adama.
La'adama.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Nayadamawa.
Nayadamawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka'ira.
Wakaza'aba.
Wakaza'aba.
Wakazabak.
Wakazabak.
Wakatazalmanai.
Wakatazalmanai.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Ashar. Amarwa.
Amar.
Nayarashah.
Lanawa.
Na'awa. Alahayam.
Alahaya.
Shayathamwa. Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Lapanyarokak. Ka'ash. Thaba'ira Ya'ira. Wakala Haba. Thalahat. Haryam. Khan. Tharadatma. Basa'iraka. Wabasa Wapafka. Sabahalam. Mala'ah. Panyaham. Kwalawan. Wayabakwashua. Shemka. Yahweh. Yabashua. Wayaba'awa. Aja'ai. Wayakaparwa. Wayabadwa. Wayada'aiwa. Kaya. Atha. Shemka. Yahweh. Labaka. Ayawan. Alka-Harataza. The Wadaman.
And in the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
And
let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel
may be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Israelites.
And the Israelites.
Of Moab.
And
the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
The Baal and Ammon.
The Baal and Ammon.
And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kishon. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Ze'ed. Yea. All their princes. As Sabbath. And as Zalmunna. Who said. Let us take to ourselves. The houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth. So be it.
Well, say bless Israel. The blessings. Barakatha Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Mataza Biyah. Alawak Yahanna. Ha Alawak Yahanna. Ha Saranyam. Ha Quatas Yamim. Ha Kwaya Yamim. Wa Hakwathiam. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai.
The Wadaman. And in the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yahanna. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to do the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Send evils and curses.
curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
And the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse-Comitatus. The cable. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
National Space Program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airways. The cable access channel. And the radio channel. The spirit of any of thy people. That seek to stop. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. Or try to stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the planes. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plagues shake the Let Yahawashi, Michael and Gabriel, come down with the flying saucers, and punish all the heathens, that come up against us, as we speak thy word, cause it to be known, by all, that it is the angels, that have done it, cause it to be spread, through the media, throughout the whole world, cause them to shake at thy coming, in the name of Yahawashi. Thank you always. So be it.
And with that, I say, Sar. Sisters, please be seated. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins to prepare to salute the Torah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Yup.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Yup.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Yup.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Yup. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham. Yashmatah. Men of Israel, Sar. Sisters, please stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak.
Yahweh Shema Alathon Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yashmatah. Class dismissed.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Alathah Ba'ashem Yahushua to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 a card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Jerry YAHANNA.
And you know we not no cowards. Oh, you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Jerry YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021 I.S.U.P.K 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. I.S.U.P.K, YAHANNA, I'm President Captain TITHES with Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commanding General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come out, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way He's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.